Good day everybody, it's Max and welcome back to Icarus Tips and Tutorial. That's right. And in this episode, it's exotics. You betcha. You need a radar and you need a drill extractor to get those exotics. And to do that, we're going to cover two things. One, the 3 stages of items that you need to build to make those final 2 products. And 2, the list of raw material resources that you're going to need to make all of those items so you can make them last 2 products. Let's get into it. Today everybody, here on the tips tutorial, we're going to talk about those sweet exotics. You betcha. The magical blue things that you want in your ship to take home so everybody loves you and you can get paid that sweet moolah. Now, in this particular case, I'm going to talk about a couple of things. One, what pieces of equipment you actually need to get to the final 2 steps of extractor and radar. And the second thing is I'm going to talk about is all the material required to build those things to get to the extractor and the radar. So let's get back to the Love Shack, and I'm going to show you how we can get this sweet blue stuff out of the ground with a radar and an extractor, and of course what it actually took to make that happen and the 3 stages to it. Okay, so now we're back here at the Love Shack, and of course we want to talk about the 3 stages of equipment that you need to get to the end result of an extractor and radar. That is the wood stage, the stone stage, and the electronic stage, which I have here in this room. Now, when it comes to the your wood stage, of course, the very first thing you need to make is a crafting bench, and you make that within yourself, and of course, you put that down. Now, the next thing you're going to need, of course, a stone furnace. Now, I do put mine here with this equipment, but really, the stone furnace is part of your wood stage. It just fits better in my line, in my cabin here, over here on the right. But the stone furnace you need is the next thing, and then, of course, you need a mortar and an anvil, okay? And finally, this will allow you to make your stage 2 item, which is going to be the machining bench to get into the stone age. So as a wood products for stage 1, of course, you need the crafting bench, of course, which then allows you to make your stone furnace. Then you can go off and get some ore, and that ore is going to allow you to make the anvil bench, and of course the mortar and pedestal, which will allow you to make your tree staff, your epoxies, your nails, and those kinds of things. It also allows you at this time to make yourself a better pick and a better knife. So as you keep moving up, ores are going to get very costly here, and you're going to want better and better picks each time to get more resources out of them raw materials. Now that we've got the stage 1 done, so that's bench, stone furnace, anvil, and mortar. And of course, now we're on to stage 2. Stage 2, of course, is now your machining bench. And out of the machining bench, of course, the first thing you're going to need is the cement mixer. And then, of course, you're going to need the concrete furnace. And then finally, you're going to be making your level 3 bench, which, of course, is the fabricator. Now, out of this bench, you actually need to be making some other things. You're actually going to make one of your level 3 electronic items, a couple of your electronic items out of here. One of them is a biofuel composter for level 3 in the electronic stage. You also need some biofuel cans out of here for that stage. And of course, this bench is the bench that makes electronics itself, so as you can move on to the next stage. And of course, it makes the actual fabricator 3rd stage bench. Now, so these 3 pieces of equipment, the cement mixer, the concrete furnace, and the machining bench are your stage 2 items. And of course, once you've got them down, this allows you to then make the concrete, make the electronics, make the steel screws and all those items, which will allow you to get to stage 3. Stage 3 is all about the electronics stage. Now again, biofuel composter and the cans are made over on that stage 2 bench, but because you're not using it for anything in stage 2, I include it as part of my stage 3. Now, once you've gotten your fabricator bench, this here is once again where you get to make a decision. And this goes for all missions, and this is just a little side note. It goes for all missions. If you're never going to get to the fabricator bench in a mission, then stick with the bolt action rifle if you're a gun user or whatever, and then just go that route. If you're forced to make a fabricator bench, like on this mission, well, then you might as well make the better gun, all right? First of all, for what little cost it is, titanium ingots, yes, do have a cost, but titanium ingots you only need 8 titanium ingots in all of this build. So if you're out there collecting ore anyway, you might as well get enough for 40 titanium ingots and make yourself the actual better hunting rifle. So you have multiple shots with the faster reload time. That's just a side note. Now here in stage 3, of course, once you've got your fabrication bench, you're going to need the following items. First, you need a materials processor, because this is going to make the one missing piece that you need all this equipment for, which is composite. And then once you've got your composite paste, then you're going to make yourself a biofuel generator, which of course you've been collecting biofuel all this time, right? And filling up gas cans. I would hope so, because you're going to need gas cans. I would recommend you make 4 gas cans, because not only do you need to run this generator, but you're going to need 4 gas cans to mine the exotics using the drill at the very end. And if you don't have enough fuel, you're really going to hate yourself. So in this case, you need a biofuel generator. You need to actually make the wiring. Now, you don't make the wiring per se. What you do is you make yourself an electricity tool, which allows you to run unlimited wire, okay? And basically, this tool allows you to just run wire as much as you want. And then, of course, you need the electric furnace to then take that wonderful epoxy, composite epoxy, and actually turn it into the 12 plates of composite you need to make yourself the radar. Now, the extractor itself is fairly straightforward at only 20 ingots and 5 electronics. Yes, electronics are expensive, but at least the numbers are relatively easy. The trick here is the radar. The radar not only requires more electronics, but them 12 composites, all of this here, all of this machinery here is all for just 12 composites. So that bench, that piece of machinery, that piece of machinery, and that piece of machinery alone, okay, is 200 electronics. All of this for just 12 composites. And that's why you have to make the big decision. Unless you really want to go for this kind of build, you may want to stop here at stage 2, make yourself a bolt action rifle or your mid-range bow and arrows and whatever, and off to mission you go. But when you need to actually do this as part of your mission, well, then you might as well go all the way, right? I mean, you might as well get yourself the great gun and all the things. So, because you're looking at 200 electronics here out of the 227 electronics total. So let's talk now about numbers. What do you need to actually make this list of stuff? Now, to make this list of stuff, and this is in raw material, you need 1,183 iron ore, you need 1,434 copper ore, you need 171 coal ore. That does not include any kind of other material like bullets or anything like that. All right, that's coal ore that's used just to get all this material made here. You need 70 aluminum ore. You need 40 titanium ore, but again, if you're going to make yourself a hunting rifle, you will need an extra 200 titanium ore for 240 titanium ore. You need 483 gold ore. Make sure 12 of that ore is unrefined and just put straight into the processor. Do not melt it into gold bars. This does not want gold bars. It wants raw ores. So make sure that you take 12 of that ore shove it into that machine directly. The rest of it, of course, you're going to melt into gold bars so as you can then build your equipment. Okay. Now, you need 621 silica. You need 549 resin, 518 epoxy. Okay. And now I didn't break that down into the amount of sap that you need, but to make that 518 epoxy, you need 10,404 sticks. Now, it was late at night when I was doing these numbers, and I've gotten two different sets of numbers around sticks. So I would just round that up to 11,000 sticks and be safe. Okay? Now, this is where I will mention that having the talent of being able to do wood breakdown, turn wood into sticks, is highly recommended when you need that amount of sticks and epoxy. Okay? And once again, bullets and any extras outside of this equipment is not accounted for in these numbers. So when you need to make a bunch of bullets, right? We'll talk about sulfur here in a second. You're going to need the sulfur that I give you on this list, plus any extra sulfur to make bullets for any guns or anything like that. So let's keep going. You need 1,044 sulfur, plus more if you want any bullets. Okay, because it takes 1,044 sulfur to make all the stuff and the things here for these pieces of equipment. You need 40 rope, 102 pieces of wood, 1,290 stone, 128 nails, and 12 leather is what you need to make all of this stuff. So there are 3 stages to exotics. Stage 1 is what I call the wood stage, which of course is what gets you the stone furnace and the anvil, bench, and the mortar. Stage 2, of course, gets you the concrete mixer, the concrete furnace, and then of course the next bench. And then of course stage 3 is where you get into needing the biofuel generator, the biofuel composter, the electric wire with the electric fence, and the materials processor along with its bench. This here, the amount of resources required for this small amount of machinery is extensive, and this is where most of those numbers will come from. In any case, I'm Max. This, of course, is Icarus Tips Tutorial on just getting exotics, because, hey, everybody likes getting exotics. If you need an example of this, watch my Icarus Explore series, and Payday Extraction is the video you want to be watching for. Payday Extraction is me actually building this entire bit and then actually going out and getting those exotics. And I will see you on the next one. Take care.